Hi friends, welcome to my channel JK Competitions. Today's class we are going to discuss psychology part in which we are going to discuss 30 important bits which are going to be practiced, and these questions are from previous year Tet and Dsc question papers, and please watch this video till the end. If you like this video, please share it and subscribe it. Without wasting our time, we'll class today's class. Here is the first question. Parenting style in which parents give appropriate autonomy to the child. Parenting style in which parents give appropriate autonomy to the child. 1. Authoritative. 2. Permissive. 3. Authoritarian. And D. Uninvolved. Your option is option 1. Authoritative rearing style. This is the parenting style in which parents give appropriate autonomy to the child. Next question. Learning takes place from 1 to 25 years, 2. Conception to the death, 3. Birth to death, and 4. 3 to 18 years. Learning takes place in human life is from birth to death. Option 3, birth to death. That means a human being, he learns from since his childhood, since his birth to the end of the last breath, man learns something. Every moment he learns something. Next question. Threatening is a dash. Threatening is a mental abuse, a physical abuse, a sexual abuse, and financial abuse. Your option is threatening is a mental abuse. That means threatening somebody or giving some stress to the other person mentally. Threatening, that is called mental abuse. Next question. Self resources among the following. Self resources among the following. Your option is option 4, intelligence and thinking. Intelligence and thinking is the self resources for every human being. Next question. Implementation of midday meal program is to satisfy. Implementation of midday meal program by government is to satisfy 1. Social needs of the children, 2. Primary needs of the children, 3. Secondary needs of the children, and 4. Psychological needs of the children. Your option is option 2. Primary needs of the children. To satisfy these needs of the children, government is implementing midday meal program. Next question. Object permanence. Object permanence appears at this stage. 1. Pre-operational stage. 2. Sensory motor stage. 3. Concrete operational stage. And 4. Formal operational stage. Object permanence. That means if object is not in front of the eyes of the children or a child, he may think that object is somewhere very safe. Object is there somewhere, it is very safe, though it is not in front of their eyes. This kind of appearance appears at the stage, that is option 2, sensory motor stage. Sensory motor stage. Next question. Educational program in AP, Andhra Pradesh. LIP stands for. LIP is a program which is being implemented in Andhra Pradesh school education, that stands for 1. Literacy improvement program, 2. Learning improvement program, 3. Language improvement program, and 4. Leadership improvement program. Your option is option 2, learning improvement program. My dear friends, actually due to some survey reveals that there are a lot of gaps in the learning of a children, learning is not happening properly. Learning is not happening 100% successfully. That's why, as per this survey, government has introduced a program, that is learning improvement program. The aim of this program is to make learning 100% among the students. Eighth question, which of the following come by inheritance and developed through training? Which of the following come by inheritance and developed through training? 1. Attitudes, 2. Traits, 3. Aptitudes, and 4. Habits. Your option is option 3, aptitudes. Aptitudes are the one which come by inheritance. That means it comes from fathers or parents or grandparents, and later on they will be developed by training. They are developed through training. They are called aptitudes. Next question. To facilitate conceptualization among students, the teacher should, to facilitate conceptualization among students, the teacher should 1. Encourage rote memorization, 2. Give importance to direct experiences, 3. Rely only on lecturer method of teaching, and 4. Not include examples in the discussions. Your option is option 2, give importance to direct experiences. A teacher must give importance to the students, and he has to see that students should learn concept by doing, by having direct experience, activity by doing, learning by doing. So this is how a teacher should plan in learning of a student. Next question. Intelligence theory proposed by Intelligence theory proposed by E.L. Thorndike. E.L. Thorndike. 1. Group factor theory. 2. Unifactor theory. 3. Two-factor theory. And 4. Multi-factor theory. So here your option is option 4, multi-factor theory, which was proposed by E.L. Thorndike. Next question. Asking the state ranker student to share his experiences and thoughts come under 1. Introspection method, 2. Survey method, 3. Case study method, and 4. Experimental method. So simply this question we can understand that asking a state ranker student to share his experiences and thoughts, that comes under introspection method. Introspection method, that means introducing self over there, introducing their abilities, introducing the plan which they have planned, which they have followed in achieve this kind of state rank. That type of thing is called introspection method. Simply we can say it is an interview like that. Next question. ICT means Internet and Computer Technology. 2. Information and Computer Technology. 3. Internet and Communication Technology. And 4. Information and Communication Technology. Your option is option 4. Information and Communication Technology. Next question. The defense mechanism in which we justify what we do is, A. 1. Projection, 2. Rationalization, 3. Identification, and 3, 4. Displacement. Your option is option 2. Rationalization. That means a human being, whatever, most of the people, they support themselves. That means they justify their actions. They justify their feelings and they say they are correct. Whatever they do, they are correct. The type of mechanism, defense mechanism, this kind of is called rationalization. It is called rationalization. Next question. Experiential learning through activities takes place in. Experiential learning through activities takes place in 1. Subject-centered paradigm, 2. Teacher-centered paradigm, 3. Learner-centered paradigm, and 4. Classroom-centered paradigm. See, my dear friends, the very important question here, experiential learning. So experience comes through by doing something. A student gets experience when he is exposed to particular activity to do on his own with the directions of a teacher. That time students learning percentage will be highest. So this is called experiential learning, which comes through, that is happening in learner centered paradigm, or child centered paradigm. Next question, responding versus valuing. Responding versus valuing are related to this domain. 1. Psychomotor domain, 2. Cognitive domain, 3. Educational domain, and 4. Affective domain. Responding and valuing, these are related to this domain. Your option is option 4, affective domain. Affective domain. Next question. Seeing a rope and fearing it as a snake. Seeing a rope and fearing it as a snake is 1. Illusion, 2. Deja vu, 3. Hallucination, 4. Fantasy. That means here, for example, sometimes we see a rope or thread lying across the road. Sometimes we fear that we mistook that is a snake. So the actual object is something, but what we imagine is something. That means we saw a rope and we are afraid of that, whether it is a snake. This kind of thing is called illusion. Option 1, illusion. Next question. Socially critical situation. Socially critical situation faced by school age children. School age children. 1. Autonomy versus doubt. 2. Initiative versus guilt. 3. Industry versus inferiority. And 4. Role identity versus role confusion. School age children, like 6 to 14 years of children, particularly if you say adolescent, a group of age of adolescent people, they generally have this kind of situation called industry versus inferiority. Industry versus inferiority. This kind of socially critical situation faced by school age children. Next question. Vygotsky's learning theory is also called. My dear friends, this is a direct question. Vygotsky's learning theory is also called as. My dear friends, I think this video is helping for you all. If it is useful and if you think it is beneficial for you, please like it, share it, and subscribe it. So let's see the answer here. Vygotsky's learning theory is also called as option 4, constructivist learning theory. Constructivist learning theory. Vygotsky's learning theory is also called constructivist learning theory. Next question. Formulation of instructional objectives. Formulation of instructional objectives takes place in this phase. 1. Post-active phase. 2. Interactive phase. 3. Pre-active phase. And 4. learner active phase. Your option is option 3, pre-active phase. Pre-active phase. Formulation of instructional objectives takes place during pre-active phase. Next question. A person well versed in typewriting doing DTP work on computer. Here the transfer of learning is 1. Negative transfer, 2. Positive transfer, 3. Zero transfer, and 4. Bilateral transfer. Your option is option 1. Positive transfer. My dear friends, look here. A person is very good at typewriting. Typewriting, that means he can he is a good at, he has a lot of skills in typewriting. But same time he got a job as a DTP worker, and now he is using computer. Earlier he was using typewriter, now he is using computer. The experience he had on typewriter is helping here him to work on a computer. Here the type of transfer of learning is positive transfer. Typewriting experience helped the person on computer also. Next question. As per Skinner, children learn language through. As per Skinner, children learn language through 1. Imitation and reinforcement, 2. Observation and imitation, 3. Innate ability, and 4. Observation and reinforcement. Generally, children they learn language through 1. Imitation and reinforcement. Whatever we speak with them to the children, they just listen first, they understand that, they imitate, and they speak those words repeatedly. That is called reinforcement. So generally any child they learn language through imitation. Imitation of their parents, imitation of their teachers, imitation of their society in which they are living, and repeatedly speaking the same words is called reinforcement. Next question. The way the driver's response to traffic signals. The way the driver's response to traffic signals is an example of 1. Law of generalization, 2. Law of extinction, 3. Law of effect, and 4. Law of discrimination. Your option is option 4, law of discrimination. Right? So as a citizen of the nation, we should have certain discrimination mindset. We have to abide by the traffic rules. Wherever the rules are there, we have to accept them, we have to abide them. That is called law of discrimination. Next question. Primary goal of open educational resources. The primary goal of open educational resources. 1. To generate money for educational institutions. 2. To promote exclusivity in education. 3. To restrict access to learning resources. And 4. To provide free and accessible educational material. Your option is option 4, to provide free and accessible educational material. Next question. As per Cohen, percentage of learning through vision. Percentage of learning through vision. 1. 50%, 2. 83%, 3. 90%, and 4. 64%. As per Cohen, the psychologist, percentage of learning through vision is option 2, 83%. 83%. Next question. Next question. Projective test among the following. Projective test among the following. 1. Personality inventions. 2. Raven's standard progressive matrices. 3. Case study. And 4. Thematic apperception test. Your option is option 4, thematic apperception test. Next question. These are considered as educable mentally retarded. Educable mentally retarded. 1. Moderate mental retarded. 2. Mild mental retarded. 3. Severe mental retarded. And 4. Profound mental retarded. Your option is option 2, mild mental retarded. My dear friends, here any child is identified as mild mental retarded can be educable mental can be educable. That means we can train them. But moderate mental retarded, severe mental retarded, profound mental retarded, it's very difficult for them to educate. But it is possible with mild mental retarded. Next question. Programmed learning is the product of this following theory. Programmed learning is the product of this following theory. 1. Classical conditioning. 2. Apparent conditioning. 3. Trial and error learning. And 4. Insightful learning. Programmed learning is the product of option 2. Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning. Next question. Assessment used to improve students' performance is 1. Assessment of learning. 2. Assessment by learning. 3. Assessment for learning. And 4. Assessment as learning. Your option is option 3. Assessment for learning. My dear friends, here assessment for learning, that means how a student is learning, what way he is learning, whether there are any problems he is facing while learning. This is the kind of assessment. This assessment help a teacher to identify the problem with the children, to identify problem children facing during learning. So how learning is happening, for that an assessment is required. That is called assessment for learning. Next question. At first, the child used whole hand to hold the thing. Later, he could hold by his fingers. Here, the development principle is, understand, my dear friends, understand this question. First, in the beginning, child used whole hand to hold the particular objects or playful things. Later, after some years, he could hold, or months, he could hold the particular object with his fingers. Here the development principle is 1. Principle of individual difference. 2. Principle of uniformity of pattern. 3. Principle of proceeding from general to specific. And 4. Principle of continuity. Your option is option 3. Principle of proceeding from general to specific. My dear friends, if you observe this statement here, this question, first child uses whole hand. After a few months or days, he started using his fingers. That means he is very particular. So the development in the child is is in the proceeding of from general to the specific. And last question, my dear friend. My dear friends, I think this video is very useful for you. And this video is made on the request of English medium aspirants, particularly. I have taken some a little care and some I spent some time to prepare this video. So please like this video, share it and subscribe it. Now my dear friends, we will discuss last question. Scientist who experimented on memory. Who experimented on memory? 1. Sigmund Freud. 2. E.L. Thorndike. 3. W.B. Watson. And 4. Ebbinghaus. Your option is option 4, Ebbinghaus. Ebbinghaus was the psychologist who experimented on memory. Not only that, he wrote a book and he was the author of a book called On Memory, Ebbinghaus. My dear friends, these are the 30 questions that we discussed. These questions are appeared in the previous year's test and DSC exams. So I think it's very useful for you. Thank you for watching.